Hello dear friends. I was going to talk about the October eclipses in the video for October, but something provoked me to make a special video about these eclipses while I am in Constantinople or in Istanbul. Today is Istanbul. Constantinople was the capital of Eastern Roman Empire until 1453, when, according to historical sources, have fallen under the rulership of Turks. The Roman Empire was broken much before, but only the conquest of Constantinople marked its definitive end. It was in 1453 that the Temple of God's Wisdom that you see behind me, or Hagia Sophia, was transformed into a mosque. Almost all Turkish temples and many Muslim ones are architecturally imitations of Hagia Sophia, not to mention St. Mark Basilica in Venice, which is a complete copy of Hagia Sophia. Even horses that are there on the top of the roof are stolen from Constantinople, and so on and so on. This completes, that's what I said. This completes a long history of the rule of Romans when Constantinople fell. Watch here please that I'm not saying Byzantines, because that is not the correct name. I'm saying Romans. And thus East Romans or Eastern Romans Kingdom should be. And thus begins the Turkish invasion of Europe. Constantinople is said to have fallen on May 29, and that was immediately after the lunar eclipse that occurred on May 22nd of the same year. It was a partial lunar eclipse visible not only in Constantinople, but also in India, China, and most of Africa and Australia. But it is recorded that it was important for Constantinople. I don't know. No, true. I don't know what happened in other parts of the world in that time, in May, but I did not study that, but it can be also interesting maybe. So eclipses happen twice in a year. They are not an uncommon phenomenon, but you can see that some of them are more significant than the others. Why is it so, one would ask? Well, the reason can be found in the horoscopes of the eclipses itself. Eclipses appear and disappear in the duration for several thousand years. The lunar eclipse from May 22nd, year 1453, belongs to Saros series 102 and has an interesting symbolism in its horoscope. Namely, when it appeared for the first time in October 5th in the year 461, Rahu, the north node, was in Pisces, in the conjunction with the moon. It is easy to say now, and we know what happened in that time, of course, that another religion will conquer a certain religion, even that one of conquering type is going to be the religion of the lunar type, which is the characteristic of Islam. In the eclipse horoscope, Saturn and Pluto are in opposition, which is a very drastic aspect. So it can be assumed that this eclipse, with its long period of duration from the year 461 to the year 1886, when it stopped appearing, indicated a change in politics, in ruling structures of the world, and that it caused new organization of the world or big part of the world, even with great tension and through some frightening events. So now I give you the definition of that what can be this conflict aspects between Saturn and Pluto. Remember this, because we will need this later during this video. So change in politics, in ruler structures of the world, new organization in the world, even with great tension and through some frightening events. You know, this actually can be the definition of the aspects with Saturn and Pluto, even if they're in harmonious aspects like Trines. But then things are happening, the same things are happening, but with no tension. Okay. So let's remember that in 2020 we had a conjunction of Saturn and Pluto also. I made a special video about this conjunction, and you can find it on YouTube if you're interested in this. This is very noisy. I hope you hear me. Of course, the special question is, why did Constantinople fall this year? Why not some other year with similar constellations? I have no answer to this question, but some people can find the answer, of course. It must exist, and it can be connected with some historical cycles also. That we would need something else, not just the astrology, to answer this question. So it's no secret that we live in the time when the end of another empire will happen. Of course, we are talking here about America, which is the leading power of Anglo-Saxon world, which means that the fall of America also means the fall of the whole region, Anglo-Sax. Must be something like that. America has had an eclipse in 2017, and then 2 more eclipses will happen after that. The second one will hit on October 14, 2023, and will be visible over the entire American continent, with the exception of the South Latin America, just the south of Latin America. The third eclipse, American eclipse, will occur on April 8, 2024, and will be visible in North America, Canada, and Mexico, with the exception of Alaska. Look at that. The solar eclipse from October 14, 2024 belongs to Saros series 134. It first appeared on June 22nd in the year 1248. And it is interesting that this eclipse also has Saturn and Pluto in conjunction, and even in Scorpio, which is making it very strong. The meaning of the aspect between Saturn and Pluto I just explained a few minutes ago, so go back if you did not remember this drastic change in politics, in the rulership of the world, and so on. Then the solar eclipse of April 8, 2024 belongs to Saros series 139. It first appeared on May 17 in the year 1501. This eclipse also has This eclipse also has the opposition of Saturn and Pluto, but in decline. But it was even more interesting that it has Saturn in square with Uranus, which means that whenever it happens, it brings a conflict between tradition and innovation, freedom and limitations. We also had this aspect in 2021 and 22. You see how things are repeating. It symbolizes the struggle of the traditional part of the world with digitalization, chipping, or you know what, and other dangerous experiments that have happened to us. Also, the horoscope of the third American eclipse that has the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio also happened in the year 21 and 22. However, with the so-called American eclipses, changes are necessary. By expelling the dollar from Asia and now from African continent, as well from the Middle East, America will not be what it was before. With the loss in the wars it has experienced in the recent years, and the withdrawal of the troops from the numerous military bases in the world, it is slowly but surely causing to be an empire, and as it was until now, ceasing to be the empire as it was until now. I remind you that one definition of the empire says that empire is the country that has its military base outside its territories, which was America until now. We will see what else will happen in the world in this our time. The ongoing eclipses that are now happening in 2023 and 24 on the Aries Libra axis certainly also affect China, and there are going to be challenges in Chinese zone, in China, Korea, Taiwan, and so. Also, Saturn in Pisces tests strongly Russia from inside. This is very important transit from Russia. And of course, it can clean up what needs to clean up in that country. There is no doubt that Russia and China will be significant factors in decision making in the world. Not only them, India and some other countries as well. But the story is not over yet. We are yet to see the outcome of everything. Here at the end of this short video, I want to mention one article. There is an article describing the cycling repetitions of the attacks on Russia. In this article, the author builds on Huntington's book. You know about Huntington's book, I guess. He was writing about the wars and the wars of civilizations. So he wrote actually that wars of kings, peoples, and ideologies will be changed for the wars of civilization. But the author of the article that I'm mentioning is adding to that Huntington does not mention that in each subsequent phase, the conflicting parties represents the archetypal successors of the conflicting parties from the previous period. So even if these wars change the form, actually the essence and the meaning of it remains the same. Even many things will repeat that are not just the form, of the thing, but in archetypal sense, it will have even stronger meaning. So this author of this article that I'm lucky enough to collaborate with reveals that the current attack on Russia began with the coup in Kiev in 2014, which started the Third World War, which will end with the entry of Russia. So now watch where? To Constantinople. I have to admit that when I saw this article, when I read it for the first time, I was completely fascinated with this. And I thought nothing more logical than that. But we will see. It is certain that we live in one of the most turbulent periods in the history of mankind. But let's wait to see what will happen. Regardless of all of the turbulent events ahead, I wish you a very pleasant autumn. And that's all for now. Of course, if you wish, you can order personal consultations with me. Feel free to write. I will answer and we can arrange the date. I also offer consultancy based on Feng Shui and of the method which I named the change of code, the change of perception, which is the method that helps us to deal with our subconscious material. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to my channel, and thank you very, very much for that. I wish you happiness, joy, and everything nice, and see you soon.